Well, y'all, we've got some major issues going on that we need to address. So welcome back, and let me go ahead and quickly say we have a jam-packed episode here, so don't jump to conclusions. There may be something in it that you like. So for starters, we have some issues that we need to address. We're going to jump right on that here with this structure. We're also now attempting to start our first off-grid structure as far as power goes in this episode, and we're doing off-grid heat in this episode as well. So this is going to be a fun project, and it's going to lead into, well, another project down the road. So we have a lot of different things going on. This structure may not relate to you, but some of the things we're going to do in it today very well may. So for starters, for all of y'all not familiar with this is a hunting blind that I built years ago. And I just recently discovered some major structural issues going on thanks to some insects. Yes. So a lot of people have been asking why I haven't been bringing my new puppy Ruger out here with me to sit my little blind right here. And it's because I am scared to death to walk up these stairs. I've been coming out here myself, but I'm having to tiptoe around. There's no way I'm going to carry a dog up or try to let him be comfortable working on some of this stuff until we fix some issues here. So let's start. I didn't even notice this the first day that I ran up. We have major, and I mean major issues. Tunnels and holes going all in. Wait till you look up here. Look at that. Look at this. I am absolutely blessed that I did not fall through these stairs the first time I walked up them, because I did not see this. Look at how bad this one is. That goes pretty much all the way through. Completely rotten steps. Well, that's actually not right. Okay, we can fix steps. I shouldn't have to on a structure this new, but we've got a bigger issue underneath, something really structural. Look at here. Now we have major damage on the main structural support holding the structure up. Those hollow cavities go all in there. You can see to where they at least go this far. No telling how far that way. Now the good news is, I think I have caught the damage early. I am not seeing any more main structural damage. So what the heck is this? So a lot of y'all know where we're already going with this. Believe it or not, that is a common pest called a carpenter bee. And I've had major issues with them up at the house. I'm gonna link a video to the end of this one showing you where I built carpenter bee traps and put them up around my brand new barn that they were eating up this past spring. And I've caught quite a few of them. It's a real quick story, and then we're gonna jump into some fun stuff. They'll actually go on the underneath side of a piece of wood like this, bore a hole in. They look like a bumblebee, but they're a carpenter bee. They'll burrow all through the wood, lay larvae on the inside. That's what they're making the burrow nest for. And then they go on about their business after they have destroyed your wood. So what the heck causes all this? It's not the bee. They drill a hole underneath, burrow through, and you never see that. What you're looking at here is damage from woodpeckers. These woodpeckers fly around and they see those burrowed holes underneath. They know that there's a big, fat, juicy larva somewhere in there, and they destroy your lumber, peck it all apart. That's why you see it looking so rough underneath there. And eventually they'll dig your wood open, find that larva, pluck it out and eat it, and then they go on about their business. So now you've had an insect and a bird, two things damage your structure, and it's permanent damage. A lot of people don't realize how bad the damage can get. I'm talking full collapse of structures, just basically condemn them, just as bad as like a termite damage. I've seen some horrible photos online. It's a pest that we constantly have to work on. right, so here's where things get fun and interesting. We got the stairs repaired so we can get up there now nice and safe. I just got it vacuumed out. Now we're gonna start working on our electricity and our heat. So I told y'all I was gonna get another one of these diesel heaters. I just got one of these for the shop. Y'all seen I did a review on it. These things are awesome. And I immediately started thinking, what if I had one out there in that deer blind? So up until this point, I've been using one of those little Mr. Buddy type propane heaters, and there's several reasons why I don't really prefer it out there. One, it just doesn't work very well for an uninsulated space. Two, the carbon monoxide worries, which you have that with diesel heaters too, but these we can exit the exhaust outside. And three, it burns through a lot of little 1 pound propane cylinders, which I either have to come back and refill or go buy. I've got to where I refill them because they're so expensive to buy. These should be even far more efficient, put out way more heat, and they run on diesel for quite a while. Now, the only thing is they do require power, some sort of 12-volt power, in order to warm up the glow plugs, run the fan, and actually start the ignition. If you're not familiar with these diesel heaters right here, has a small diesel tank on the inside, a fuel pump that actually pumps into this chamber right here, causes an ignition, it exhausts the gas outside, a fan blows air across what you can see on the inside of this pipe right here, that actual heating element, that big diffuser, and it blows out a ton of hot air on the inside. And then you got a little digital temperature control up here for your temperature, your fan speed, things such as that. Even comes with a little remote so you can control it elsewhere. Where a lot of people are using these is in off-grid cabins. That's kind of essentially almost what this is. And a ton of people use these for RV and van camping. So in all reality, everything I'm doing out here today, from my power to a unit like this, can apply easily to an off-grid cabin or van camping, RVing, things such as that. Now I got this particular model from Vivor to try because I used an 8 kilowatt model. That's how they do the power ratings on these things for the shop. And I use that as a personal space heater. Works very well. Although I haven't got to use it a whole lot because it's been relatively warm. So I went with a 5 kW unit for the blind out here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm afraid this may actually be too much. So we'll see how it does on low. These work far better than I ever realized they would. And they make them all the way down to 2 kW. I probably should have did something like a 3, but this does have many different speed settings. We'll see if one is consistent enough that I can keep it lit up and running without baking me out in there. I guess I can always pop open the windows as well. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. That's a good thing. I'm glad these work far better than I ever thought they would, especially for the one that I'm running in here in the shop as my personal space heater. Okay, so something I'm gonna do a little different this time, since this exhaust pipe's gonna be kind of in there near a rug. I purchased some of this. I told you I was gonna do this last episode. It's some of that exhaust wrap material that can handle high heat. It's made for headers, motorcycle exhaust pipes. I'm gonna wrap it around this. It comes with some stainless steel clamps. And then this is actually somewhat safe to touch. Then I don't have to worry about it burning anything out there in my building. All right, so what you can see I've done here, I just put a stainless steel 4-inch dryer vent here, and I cut the hole out extra large, so if there's any heat giving off, it doesn't potentially char the wood. It had a nice rubber seal to go on the outside to keep the water out. And I'm going to plumb the little exhaust coming out from this diesel heater right through there, Just so happens that little 4-inch takes the exhaust perfectly. And I know that those are rated to take, well, quite a bit of heat from a dryer. So to fill the hole in around this, I'm gonna stuff some more of this fiberglass wrap material in there to keep any potential exhaust and carbon monoxide from coming back in the building and keep bugs out as well. Plus, again, this stuff cannot burn. It's made for wrapping exhaust. Okay, so now we need to talk about how we're going to power this structure up. Y'all know I absolutely love what's called a solar power generator, although in reality, these are portable power stations. So the reason people talk about solar power with these and call them solar power generators is because there is multiple ways to charge this battery pack device right here. You've got your wall plug and you have your 12 volt inputs right here. You can solar charge through this or plug into 12 volt on a vehicle. So this here is the new River 2 Max by EcoFlow. They sent this out so I could power this structure up, so I appreciate them doing that. Y'all know I already own some EcoFlow products. I'm a big fan of their stuff. I think they're kind of the industry leader for these types of devices. So this particular unit charges quicker than anything I've ever seen. I completely discharged it the other day, brought it inside, plugged it in the wall, and this has amazing wattage, input wattage for charging. And I was able to charge from 0 to 100% in 56 minutes. They claim quick charging with this unit too, up to 200 watts of solar input. And again, you can also charge from a vehicle 12 volts. On the front, you have your USB output, a USB-C 100 watt output. That'd be nice for phones and anything that can handle that kind of output. You have your 12 volt side with some plugs down here, and what we're after today, and what's really going to help me out today, is this 12 volt plug right here. Now obviously these units are awesome as well because they convert from the stored battery power inside to 110 volts right here. And one really cool thing about EcoFlow, I'm going to cut to a clip right here, they offer what's called an X-Boost function. So if you have something that's a very high output, like say a small vacuum cleaner or any other device that's above the rated output on this, you can turn on the X-Boost function via their app, and you can actually have this output and handle a higher surge load. Now, one thing to note, that does reduce voltage when you do this, so keep that in mind for certain devices that need the full 110 or 120 volts. But for example, my vacuum cleaner would not start with this rated unit at 500 watts continuous, 1000 peak, but once I turn the X-Boost on, I could actually come out here to my structure and do some vacuuming and cleaning up. That is awesome to have the power out here to do that, because I do need to vacuum and clean this building up usually every spring and again every fall. Now, as you also seen, this unit is capable of running small power tools, low wattage devices. Everybody always asks me to test window units whenever I do tests on devices like this, so I tested that today as well. It ran a 5000 BTU window unit, no problem. It was not able to start freezers and refrigerator, full-size ones, due to the initial surge of the compressors. That's another very common test people ask me to do, but I did not really expect that out of a device this size. So what these are awesome for is just what I'm doing right here. Small off-grid structures, van camping, RV camping, or power outage situations where you maybe need to run a CPAP machine or some things through the night due to hurricane outages, snowstorms, things such as that. Here's the other cool thing about this. This is by far the lightest device like this that I currently own. The next lightest one is my other EcoFlow River Pro. And with all the other brands that I have going up, they just get a lot heavier. This is unbelievable how light this unit is right here. So you're probably asking, do I really need something like this for a structure like this? Absolutely. I told y'all at the beginning of the video, believe it or not, this is my second office. So I come out here with my laptop, believe it or not, and do hours worth of editing sometimes. I'll just sit out here, watch nature, do some recording, do editing, multiple videos, and I need a place to where I can plug in 110 volts to charge my laptop. It's nice that I can charge my phone out here. Plus, I need the 12 volt function to run my diesel heater over here. The other cool thing about this is, as well, I can either run 12 volt lighting in here now or 110 volt lighting. I can wire in a plug to this unit. And what's going to be coming up in a future episode that's got me really excited, I'm going to start venturing into some solar. It's been a huge request on the channel, literally hundreds if not thousands of requests last year, especially while I was building the house. Start getting into solar power devices and ultimately solar power for your home. So I think I'm going to try to figure out how to run a panel all the way out to an open spot that I have over here through the woods, run the wiring back into here to where I can constantly charge this device. It can permanently stay out here. I don't have to carry it back to charge it. And I may run enough solar power into here to where, since I have multiple devices like this can turn into a charge station out here. So should we have long-term power outages or the zombie apocalypse or something major happens, I can actually bring multiple devices out here, multiple power stations, and plug them into, well, potentially higher powered solar panels or multiple panels. I'm trying to make my mind up what I want to do. Okay, so I think right here in this corner is where I'm going to take up the room for my diesel heater and my portable power station. I'm probably going to build a little shelf in here once I make sure everything's where I want it. And I'm also going to have a fan in here. That's one other thing I forgot to mention. Sometimes you come out here and it's not necessarily cold, it's burning up hot. Now I can run a box fan or anything else off of this power supply as well. Looks like somebody has figured out how to climb up here. I haven't even come and got you yet. Well, you're halfway up. You going to come on? I'm setting this room up for you and I both. Come on. Come on up. I wasn't even ready for you yet, and look at you. You're already coming on up. Come on, you're right here. Well, looky there. Let me stand right here so he can't get back near that door. He decided to come on up on his own. I was up here working. He didn't want to come that last step, so I had to help him in. But check it out, buddy. You and I are going to spend a little time up here. We're getting this place set up and comfortable. What you think about it? Okay, so I just powered this up. I actually had to go back and make some new thicker cables because it was just starting to bump a low voltage alarm. So I actually wired in some 10 gauge cables, and it seems to have just got me right where I need to be voltage wise. So how this initially has to start up, you can hear a fuel pump is in there priming right now, and it's lighting a glow plug, which pulls a heck of a lot of power initially. Then it goes down to just a few watts just to run the fan itself once ignition happens. Now this takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes. You can hear it ramping up right now. So even though I have the exhaust going outside, it's not sealed the world's best, and there's still a chance of potential carbon monoxide in this room, just like there is with the tiny little propane heater that I run in here. But I'm hoping to avoid having to keep the windows open like I do with the propane heater. But just to be safe, I purchased a carbon monoxide alarm that we're going to put in here on the wall behind the unit over where near the exhaust is. And contrary to popular belief, I can't believe how many times I've had to answer this during the house build, carbon monoxide is lighter than air, and it's actually recommended to mount these upwards of 5 feet in the air or on the ceiling near a fired appliance. Okay, so we are fired up and running. I have no idea why my dog is in front of the heater because he does not like heat. But I have this thing on low, y'all, and it is blasting out the heat. I've got this nice swivel vent on the front. Sorry, it's getting dark, to blow right out the door because I don't want to heat this room up right now. With the heat that I'm feeling right now and the output, I don't think I'm ever going to have to run this on more than one speed. I probably should have went with a 3 kW unit, but assuming we come out here on extremely cold days, this isn't going to have a problem quickly warming this space up. But speed 1, I think is where I'm going to stay at, and it'll go all the way up to speed 6, or you can adjust the temperature in Celsius. They both do the same exact thing. So we're powered up, we're ready to go. I'm letting this kind of burn in. I've seen a little bit of packing oil and smoke come off the exhaust, and I wanted to kind of check how loud it is out. So I'm going to be really quiet for a second and see if y'all can hear this. I mean, I can definitely hear it in the room, but I don't think it's extremely loud. It's quiet enough a dog can sleep. So what I can hear is the fuel pump still doing a little bit of priming right now. My other one tends to get quiet after a while. Let's close this door, go outside and listen. I don't know if y'all can hear that right there. It's just a steady hum, the exhaust that's coming out. And the reason I also did the exhaust on the back side of the building is because on an extremely cold day, I'm expecting to see, a lot of condensation in the air, and I don't necessarily want animals seeing that. I'm not sure if it would spook them or not, but I want it to stay on the back side of the building. Okay, I'm gonna stand right here and be quiet. I can hear the unit, but that was very close. Let's go right here about 15 to 20 yards away. Okay, all I can hear is just a low drone, a steady drone of that exhaust going out the backside. I honestly don't foresee that being a problem. A steady noise tends to not ever spook or bother anything. It's a loud bang or just something that constantly changes tone that seems to be a problem. And keep in mind, we're so close to the house. Animals that are down here are constantly hearing roosters going off. I'm surprised I'm not hearing them hollering right now. Vehicles driving in and out. They're quite used to noise, but I can barely, and I mean barely, hear the exhaust of the unit. Can't hear anything inside. Can't hear the fuel pump or nothing like that. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. Okay, so the heater just went through its full shutdown mode. So let's turn on 110 volts over here. And obviously this shouldn't have a problem running a fan. Oh yeah. So now I can have me a fan up here if I want, which feels pretty good today. All right, well, definitely a different episode. And one other thing I forgot to mention about the new EcoFlow power supply, especially compared to my older model I have, they have upgraded to lithium iron phosphate batteries, which means you get a like 10-year plus battery and several thousand cycles of the battery before it starts degrading some. So you would literally could just about charge it and recharge it every single day before you'd ever hit that in the lifetime of the battery. It's a good quality battery that a lot of things in life are going to. So between having power out here now with the EcoFlow and the V4 diesel heater, I'm living high on the hog out here. This may be my new little doghouse. So the future plans, I think I'm gonna build me a little shelf right here, tidy this area up. I'll throw away the box and a few other things. So we're just making a nice little compact area. I can put the power bank on top. And again, I think I'm gonna run solar heading back out this direction behind me. I've got a big opening about 30 yards away. So I'm gonna research runs of wire, lengths of wire, decide if I'm gonna do a single panel out there, 2 panels. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode, hopefully you enjoyed the products. These are sure gonna make my life a whole lot more comfortable out here. Links are down in the description for anything that we always use on the video if you're ever curious about that. So go check those out. And there's gonna be a part 2 to this. Again, hey, solar is coming now so we can keep the power banks and stuff charged out here and kind of truly make this structure right here off-grid. The only thing I'll ever have to bring out here is occasionally some diesel to fill up my heater. Okay, we have a bunch of 30-degree days on the forecast coming up here, end of the week, and then 40-degree rainy days. So this heater, my shop heater, and the power supply and all is going to get a ton of use. Feel free to drop a comment. I'll let you know how everything's working out. We'll catch you on the next video.